so much for selling on the news last week, Mickey. The market's up this week. I guess the big question is, do we take that for anything at this point?
What was interesting about this week is we had a nice sell-off last week, as we talked about, the news that came out. And when you look at the charts, we had this nice little bounce, but it really, in the big picture, doesn't amount to a whole lot because short-term, we're still in this possible downtrend. And it'll be interesting to see what happens over the next week or two, because if we continue down next week and we break the lows of last week, then we will start to see a pullback, which really, when I look at the charts, seems more likely to happen than not to happen.
So I guess if I read between the lines there, what you're saying is that don't take this week as an indicator that the market is rebounding necessarily or shaking off the losses, long term.
So yes, what we're seeing here is, what we call a dead cat bounce. After the big down move last week, we get this, bounce early in the week. There's not a lot of news out there. And the last couple of days, we've seen some selling again. And when we look at the charts, and this is how we kind of determine trends, we start to see that we made a high on Wednesday, and we're rolling over. And this high was lower than the previous high, which is also a negative sign short term. Now we're watching to see if we break the lows from last week, which will be a definite sign as to where this trend is going, this short-term trend. So there really is a lot to be said as to where the market's going, even though this week it's kind of that, hey, things aren't so bad, but this week really, it's, again, you have to see the forest through the trees, and this week was definitely just the trees.
So Mickey, if we're on the cusp of a downward trend, would you advise investors to make moves tomorrow?
No, because what's interesting about this downward trend is we could have these lower highs, but if we don't break down and break lows, this could be the start of a consolidation period, which then will lead to an upside breakout, which is kind of an interesting contradiction of what we're saying. So we don't want to anticipate where the market's going. We want the market to tell us where it's going. So by saying, let's make a change here, and then watch, we get a consolidation period, and we blast off new highs, then we're sitting there going, uh-oh. So no, you don't make any moves here until you get an actual trend reversal. The market tells you, hey, this is what's going to happen. Because even when it makes the move and it tells you, it's just the beginning. You have plenty of time to make the move. Maybe you miss the first 1 or 2% of a 20% drop. You've got plenty of room. So the worst thing that could happen is you make that move, like I said, is you get this consolidation. And that's what we're watching, because we can make these lower highs, sit here, which would be great for an upside move. So there's a lot to be said to sitting here, relaxing, watching, talking to your advisor, contacting us with questions, and just letting the market do its thing before you make any moves.
There's always something in the news. Mickey, in the meantime, as people are starting to think about how to watch their portfolio closely and when to make those type of moves, how should they get a hold of you?
They can email me directly, Mickey, Mickey, at Envestim, ENVESTIM.com. They can follow us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter at Envestim1.
Going to be an interesting couple of weeks coming up to the next earnings. Thanks so much, Mickey. We'll talk next week.
Thank you, David. Talk to you then.